Chapter 081. You are listening at novelfold.audio. Soon, he was at the summit, standing before a throne of bone. A figure sat there, one hand gripping the throne, the other holding a blade, glancing at him. It was him, an exact duplicate, even down to the killing sword, but this version radiated a palpable murderous intent, a lingering darkness clinging to his brow. Who are you? Chuan demanded, frowning. The throne's occupant smiled, as if amused. I am you. I'm you after your martial arts soul has awakened. I embraced the darkness. See those corpses? I killed them all. Chuan frowned, then smiled, realization dawning. His inner demon. So you killed some people. Big deal. It's a jungle out there. They'd kill me if they could, so why shouldn't I kill them? It's just a matter of being outmatched. If you die, you die. Enough with the moralizing. Chuan declared. Awaken your true martial soul, and you'll be branded a monster, hunted by everyone, just like me. Aren't you scared? The seated figure asked softly. His voice carried a powerful compulsion, drawing out the truest answer. We warriors roam the world, following our hearts. What's there to fear? Chuan countered, shaking his head. Martial arts is about the heart, so you speak your truth. What if someone threatens your sect to get to you? The figure pressed. Then you kill until they don't dare threaten you anymore. Chuan responded, his voice firm. What if the whole world becomes your enemy? The question hung in the air. Chuan faltered. The entire world against him? It was a possibility he hadn't considered. The voice echoed, repeating the question, forcing him to confront it. He had arrived from Earth, drawn to this world of martial arts. He had spent everything to join the Holy Land, seeking a new life, determined not to be useless again. Yet, his talent was abysmal. Now, it made sense. He was being targeted by the world itself. Without the system, he'd be nothing, but with it, he was a quasi-holy son of the Holy Land, possessing significant spiritual power. If he was targeted from the start, why fear the world turning against him? The answer bloomed within him. He took a deep breath. His eyes regained their light, the confusion vanishing. Power surged through him, his confidence absolute. If I become the enemy of the world, then I will kill until the world is remade in my image. And if that doesn't work, I'll destroy it all and start over. The moment the words left his lips, he felt a profound release, as if a crushing weight had been lifted. He was transformed. Ha ha ha, excellent, that the seated Chuan roared with laughter, then vanished, the scene of corpses and blood shattering like a mirror. His consciousness returned to the sea of thought. His resolute answer had unleashed a torrent of Dao Yun, pouring into the blade's soul seeds. Crack. The seeds shattered, and a surge of murderous intent erupted, giving rise to a miniature version of Chuan. This was it, the true martial soul, the soul of the killing sword, unique to him. Chuan had fully awakened his martial soul. He felt it clearly. Earth-shattering changes throughout his body. The already potent Sun holy body began to transform, growing even stronger. The Xianyang Ju within him activated automatically, drawing in energy from the outside world, amplifying his strength. Even in the barren trial space, the vitality of heaven and earth was abundant. The entire small world of the ancient palace, especially the trial grounds, was overflowing with it. Xianyang Ju absorbed the infinite vitality, and his cultivation soared. 5th level of magical power. 6th level. 7th level. 9th level. Finally, reaching the peak of the 9th level, the vitality within him exploded, forming a blazing sun that erupted from his body. The blinding light filled the trial space, eclipsing even the light pillar. Boom. The sun unleashed its power. The entire trial space trembled with its immense momentum and vitality. The terrifying display drew the attention of all the warriors present. They were stunned by the pressure radiating from Chuan. What's happening to junior brother Su? Cui Jiang exclaimed, bewildered. The others were equally amazed. What is that? Who is he? How can he manifest such a vision? The pressure is intense. I can barely breathe. Terrifying. As the warriors murmured, Chuan's momentum surged again, bathed in the sun's light. He broke through to the Nirvana realm in one swift move. The Sun holy body underwent an even more profound transformation. becoming even more powerful and mysterious. Upon entering the Nirvana realm, he unlocked an innate magical power, insight into all things. He could see through facades, glimpse the essence of things, and understand the origins of phenomena. Nothing could hide from him. In this trial, I not only mastered the heaven-level martial art of killing gods, but also fully awakened the soul of the killing sword and ascended to the Nirvana realm. I can walk in this ancient palace world. This is just the first step toward true strength. Chuan thought to himself, a smile gracing his lips. He opened his eyes, two beams of divine light shooting skyward. Congratulations, senior brother Su. You've broken through. Su Miaoyin was the first to offer her congratulations. She had remained by his side from the start of the vision, protecting him. Yes. Chuan looked at her delicate face, and said softly, "Thank you for guarding me." "It's my pleasure." Su Miaoyin smiled sweetly. Chuan shifted his gaze forward, in the direction where the demons and monsters had appeared. The third round of trials was about to begin. Those who had tasted the rewards of points would strive to gain more in the next round. He was no different. He needed more points to redeem more rewards. Chapter 082. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The final showdown, fighting for the Palace Master's legacy. Roar. The arena shook with another earth-shattering roar, signaling the official start of the third and final trial. This time, an overwhelming horde of over 100,000 monsters and demons surged from the shadows, every single one of them at or above the 9th level of the mortal realm. There were even some Nirvana-level beasts in the mix. A hush fell over the warriors. This was serious. The sheer numbers were staggering, and their strength was terrifying. War was about to erupt. Each warrior faced a swarm of enemies many times their own size, and every one of those enemies was just as strong, if not stronger. It wasn't long before cracks started to appear. Warriors fell victim to savage claws or succumbed to the insidious influence of the demons. One by one, they were eliminated. Soon, only the elites from the major factions remained, systematically hunting down monsters and demons. Chuan waded into the chaos, his killing sword a blur of motion. He needed points, and a lot of them, which meant racking up a serious kill count. He had his eyes on the complete Haori Divine Fist inheritance listed on the exchange, but an emperor scripture like that didn't come cheap. It would cost a whopping 50,000 points. Even Chuan felt the pressure, but this was a chance to obtain a complete inheritance that even the Holy Lands didn't possess, and he couldn't let it slip through his fingers. With the full Haori Divine Fist at his disposal, combined with the newly acquired god-killing sword technique, Chuan could only imagine how unstoppable he'd become. Taking a deep breath, Chuan resolved to fight tooth and nail for the Haori Divine Fist legacy. He gripped the killing sword tight, the weapon's soul vibrating in anticipation. He was about to unleash his ultimate technique, a devastating move from the god-killing sword technique. Purgatory on Earth. A grim expression tightened Chuan's face. Even with his current cultivation, channeling this move would push him to his limit. But the prize was too great to ignore. Kill. Urged on by the killing sword's soul, a horrifying vision of mountains of corpses and rivers of blood engulfed the battlefield. Severed limbs, shattered bodies, and a suffocating aura of death and malice sent shivers down the spines of the other geniuses. What is this? The other warriors gasped, fear creeping into their eyes. Trapped within that macabre landscape, they felt a primal sense of dread. The murderous intent was so thick it felt like a physical weight, crushing their courage. What kind of terrifying art could conjure such a nightmarish scene? This was the first time these top talents had witnessed Chuan unleash his full power, and it was terrifying. The monsters and demons caught within the purgatory of corpses and blood lost all will to fight. They simply collapsed, kneeling in abject surrender. The other geniuses stared in disbelief, but the next development made them tremble. A colossal blade materialized within the mountains of corpses and rivers of blood, stretching across the entire sky. The blade crackled with pure malice and death, and even the fabric of the trial space seemed to buckle and tear under its immense pressure, threatening to collapse. So strong. Where did that monster come from? Panic spread like wildfire. Even Yang Xing gaped at the sword hanging in the sky, his face a mask of disbelief. Impossible. This can't be happening. What kind of technique is that? Yangsheng muttered, his voice barely a whisper. Su Chuan's earlier display of strength had already surpassed his expectations, but this new power threatened to shatter his very foundation. Su Chuan's next move shattered his confidence. Die. The word ripped from Su Chuan's throat like a death knell. As if responding to his command, the massive blade descended, it split into countless swords, and then all those swords combined back into a single point. Then, the combined blade fell, boom, the arena exploded in a deafening roar, the attack shattered the protective light of the trial, plunging everything into temporary darkness. When the light returned, the other geniuses could only stare in horror at the devastation before them. The trial space had been ravaged, the ground torn up like a battlefield after a major conflict. A bottomless chasm, thousands of miles long, marked the path of the falling sword. The monstrous horde that had swarmed them moments before had been annihilated, obliterated by a single blow. Only a handful of stragglers remained, cowering in the shadows. What kind of power is that? A genius stared blankly at the destruction, his voice barely a whisper. No one answered him, as every other person stood dumbfounded before the rift in the ground. Even the most arrogant elites were stunned. Meanwhile, Su Chuan, who had single-handedly annihilated tens of thousands of demons and monsters, was struggling to breathe. His energy levels had plummeted. Senior brother Su Miaoyin rushed to his side, trying to support him as he faltered, "I'm okay." Su Chuan pushed away Su Miaoyin's hand, leaning heavily on his sword, and forced himself to stand. He had underestimated the power of the technique, as well as the toll it would take on him. In mere moments, it had drained every ounce of energy from his body. While he was only at the first level of the Nirvana realm, his Holy Sun body and the Xianyang Ju gave him reserves comparable to a 9th-level Nirvana cultivator. And yet, it had been completely depleted. Had the Xianyang Ju not begun rapidly drawing in and refining the surrounding vital energy, he would have been reduced to a husk in moments. Whoosh! Su Chuan sighed in relief. The cost had been enormous, but the payoff was immense. He had wiped out at least 60,000 monsters and demons with a single attack. His point total instantly soared to over 69,000. A smile flickered across his face. The Haori Divine Fist inheritance was within his grasp. As the power faded, Su Chuan finally collapsed into Su Miaoyin's waiting arms. "Ah, senior brother Su, are you all right?" Su Miaoyin cried out, hugging Su Chuan tightly, her face etched with worry. "I'm fine, just overdid it. I just need some rest." Su Chuan managed a weak smile and shook his head. He fumbled for the power-restoring elixir in his storage ring, swallowing several pills at once and channeling the Xianyang Ju to speed up his recovery. "Congratulations. You have survived the third trial. Those who remain are all geniuses. The final challenge will now begin. Do you see the Palace Master's inheritance at the top of the list? You will now have a chance to earn the right to receive this inheritance. After this last round, the top 3 with the most points will have the opportunity to accept the Palace Master's inheritance. This final challenge will consist of unrestricted combat. You are free to challenge each other and steal each other's points. In this challenge, death is final. If you die, there will be no resurrection. Now, the final challenge begins. The dispassionate announcement dropped like a bombshell, electrifying the remaining geniuses. Their eyes burned with ambition. Everyone understood the value of the Palace Master's inheritance. They had assumed it was merely a reward, not something that they could obtain. Suddenly, every genius became a predator, sizing up potential prey. There were only 3 inheritors, and places would go to the top 3-point getters. The remaining 100 or 200 geniuses began plotting in their heads. An all-out battle was about to begin. Chapter 083. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Killing the young master of an ancient clan with a single punch, now that's power. Suddenly, every genius eyed each other warily. They all knew how cutthroat things could get when the Palace Master's inheritance was on the line. Many eyes zeroed in on Su Chuan. He had the most points of anyone present, plus, he looked totally drained, like he was running on fumes. Taking him down meant a guaranteed win. The risk was worth the reward. Compared to the Palace Master's legacy, a weakened Su Chuan didn't stand a chance. Then, someone jumped the gun. A figure bathed in divine light marched straight for Su Chuan. In a heartbeat, he was right in front of him. Su Chuan recognized him, a shirtless dude whose body lit up with red runes whenever he tapped into his Yuan power. Su Chuan's eyes flashed, and the guy's stats popped into view. Name, Wang Teng. Level, 7th level of Nirvana. Talent, Invincible King. Destiny, Emperor. Material, gold, innate divine power, purple, totem warrior, red. Skills, beast blood frenzy, totem awakening. Life script, minor antagonist in battle through the heavens. Life trajectory, Wang Teng, young master of the ancient beast god clan in the eastern region, possessed innate power and the makings of an emperor. He awakened his totem powers at birth, the runes on his body representing the beast god totem. Seeing Yang Xing's low cultivation level in the golden ancient palace, he tried to steal Yang Xing's points, only to be killed by Yang Xing's sword. After reading all that, Su Chuan was speechless. In the original story, Wang Ting saw Yang Xing as easy pickings, tried to rob him, and got himself killed, but now that Yang Xing's star had faded, he was trying to take advantage of Su Chuan's exhaustion. Talk about picking on someone weaker than you. Hand over all your points, and I might let you live. Wang Ting sneered down at Su Chuan, who was resting in Su Miaoyin's arms, making it sound like an order he couldn't refuse. That attitude rubbed Su Chuan the wrong way. His eyes narrowed. And why should I? He stared Wang Ting down, his voice steady. Xianyang Ju had been working its magic, and his energy was slowly coming back. Even facing someone 6 levels above him, Su Chuan wasn't intimidated. He wasn't afraid of the jerk in front of him, even if he hadn't recovered yet. Everyone had an ace up their sleeve, right? He still had a recovery pill that could instantly bring him back from the brink. A little fatigue was nothing. Give me your points. I'll let you live and even throw in some rare treasures as compensation. Don't disrespect me. Seeing that Su Chuan wasn't complying, Wang Ting's annoyance flared, but he quickly reined it in. Though his tone was smooth, it dripped with condescension, as if Su Chuan should be honored to hand over his points, and Wang Ting was doing him a huge favor by offering some trinkets. Wang Ting actually believed that, as the only ancient clan in the entire eastern region, the Beast God clan had a 1,000-year legacy and a power base rivaling most holy lands. As the clan's young master, his status was untouchable, far above some 2-bit successor from Sichuan's Holy Land. Demanding his points and offering trinkets was the height of generosity. Su Chuan just laughed, a harsh, humorless sound. Treasures? Was this guy out of his mind? How could he even say something like that? The reward for the most points was the palace master's inheritance. That was worth more than all the baubles in the world. Are you for real? Go check your head. Your mom must have forgotten your brain at the hospital when you were born. How could you say something so stupid? Su Chuan didn't hold back, letting him have it. You dare insult me? Wang Ting's face turned black. No one had dared talk to him like that, especially not with such disrespect. He'd been trying to reason with Su Chuan out of respect for the Tai Holy Land, but Su Chuan had not only turned him down but also insulted him. You're asking for it. Wang Ting exploded, his eyes burning. A wave of murderous intent washed over him, the runes on his body blazing as he lunged at Su Chuan. He was going to smash Su Chuan's head in to wipe away this humiliation. Su Chuan's own eyes flashed with killing intent. He stood up from Su Miaoyin's arms, patted her head, and said, "Stay back, junior sister Miaoyin. I don't want this guy's blood getting on you." "Okay, senior brother Su. Be careful." Su Miaoyin blushed and obediently stepped aside. She trusted Su Chuan completely. She would do whatever he said. Die. Seeing Su Chuan still trying to flirt, Wang Ting's fury reached a new level. The runes on his body glowed crimson. His blood and energy surged, like a volcano erupting. He was going to pulverize Su Chuan's skull with one punch. Only then would his rage be satisfied. But Su Chuan didn't move, as if frozen in place. He looked paralyzed by Wang Ting's power. The other geniuses shook their heads. Who knew that the mighty Su Chuan would crumble so easily? But just as Wang Ting's fist was about to connect with Su Chuan's head, Su Chuan threw a punch of his own. He was going to beat Wang Ting at his own game. As his fist flew, a terrifying aura rolled off him, like a forgotten god awakened. His fist was wreathed in the true flame of the great sun, radiating intense heat. Boom! The devastating power surged outward, engulfing Wang Teng. What? Wang Teng's face contorted. He never expected Su Chuan to unleash such a violent attack. A wave of unease washed over him, but his fist was already out, past the point of no return. He's bluffing, Wang Teng told himself, pouring even more power into his strike. Boom! Their fists collided in a blinding flash of light and a deafening roar. Through the light, Wang Teng saw his own fist shatter against Su Chuan's. Arg! A scream of agony ripped from Wang Teng's throat. His fist was gone. But before he could process it, he saw something that made his blood run cold. Su Chuan's fist, having crushed his own, continued its path, smashing through his arm, then his chest, finally aimed directly at his head. Spare me! Smelling death, Wang Teng finally broke and begged for mercy, but it was too late. Su Chuan's fist slammed into his head. Boom! Wang Teng's head exploded in a shower of gore and brain matter. His headless body crumpled to the ground, robbed of all control. Just like that, the young master of an ancient clan had fallen in the golden ancient palace. He's dead. The geniuses in the distance stared in disbelief. Wang Teng, a 7th-level Nirvana master, couldn't withstand a single punch from Su Chuan. No one had seen that coming. Chapter 084. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Siege, shocking sword. Senior brother Su is getting ridiculously strong. Su Miaoyin watched from a distance, stunned. Ever since she'd met Su Chuan in this ancient palace, his strength had been growing before her very eyes, but now. It was insane. A guy in the first stage of Nirvana, taking down the young master of an ancient clan in the 7th stage with a single punch. But, does senior brother Su even have any energy left? Su Miaoyin was worried sick. Su Chuan had just displayed unbelievable power, but he'd burned through so much energy, he had to be wiped out. Fighting Wang Teng right after. No way he could keep going, right? And the situation wasn't about to give him a chance to catch his breath. Su Chuan wasn't thinking about Su Miaoyin. He walked over to Wang Teng's headless body and snatched the storage ring off his remaining arm. He ripped through the magical seals and found a treasure trove inside. Just like an ancient clan's young master, a ton of loot in this ring. Su Chuan chuckled, transferring everything to his own ring, then he plopped down right next to Wang Teng's corpse to recharge. He completely ignored all the other geniuses lurking around. Way too cocky. Who is this Su Chuan? He's a beast. If we can't get points from him, we're screwed for the top 3. The other geniuses were obviously pissed, but after witnessing Wang Teng's fate, nobody dared to mess with Su Chuan, until someone spoke up from the crowd. Let's jump him. After all that fighting, there's no way he has anything left. He's probably running on fumes and just bluffing. Yeah, he's strong, but only at the 1st level of Nirvana. We're all at least at the 3rd level or higher. I don't believe it. All of us together. We can take him. Let's grab Su Chuan, force him to cough up his points, then figure out how to split them up. Someone finally made the call, and the other geniuses started to warm up to the idea. Let's face it, Su Chuan had the most points, plus, he had to be drained. In a flash, nearly 200 fighters unleashed their power, eyes glued to Su Chuan. All they needed was the order to attack. Then, a young guy with this Taoist vibe walked out, locked eyes with Su Chuan, and said, I don't care if you're weak or faking it. Hand over your points, and I'll let you live. Yeah. Give up the points, now. Hand it over, and you live. Otherwise, we'll show you what happens when geniuses clash with demons. Seeing someone take charge, the other geniuses started yelling in agreement. Anyone else would have been scared stiff facing nearly 200 people, but Su Chuan just smiled. He stood up, done recovering, and brushed himself off. The points are mine. Come and get them if you have the guts. He stood with his hands behind his back, unafraid, cool as could be. Junior brother Su, you. Cui Jiang couldn't help but worry, seeing Su Chuan acting so arrogant. Senior brother Cui, relax. I can crush these little guys with one hand. Su Chuan's words made the Taoist youth, Ling Tian, turn red. If you want to die, don't blame us. Go. At his command, the waiting fighters unleashed their most powerful attacks on Su Chuan, mystical powers, unmatched martial arts, secret techniques, nearly 200 geniuses, attacking together. That was insane power, even a reincarnation realm expert would have to dodge that, otherwise, they'd get wrecked. But Su Chuan didn't flinch. He calmly watched the attacks coming. When they were about to hit him, Su Chuan moved. He drew the god-killing sword he hadn't used against Wang Teng. Instantly, a boundless sword energy exploded from him. In that moment, the geniuses heard the sound of metal screeching against metal. A terrifying murderous aura filled the air, swallowing everyone. Zhantian, Su Chuan said softly. He'd learned this move from the god-killing sword technique inheritance when he took out Wang Teng. Now, he could test it out on these guys. As soon as he spoke, the boiling murderous aura found its release, blasting out without holding back, its target, the attacks headed for Su Chuan. Boom! The sword energy rolled out, becoming a blade that tore through the sky. It smashed into the attacks, a deafening explosion shook the space, secret techniques exploded, like fireworks, bright and dazzling. But Su Chuan's sword sliced through them all and kept going for the fighters. The stench of death filled the air. All the geniuses who'd been attacking Su Chuan, including Ling Tian, felt a wave of panic. They saw the gates of hell opening. The violent sword energy, full of murderous intent, was the deepest nightmare they could imagine. All they could see was the sword rushing at them, and a fear they'd never felt before surged inside them. Ling Tian lost it. He screamed, "Block this attack, or we're all dead." That they couldn't let that blade get close. Ling Tian wasn't the only one freaking out. They had to block that sword, or they would die. Boom! The 200 geniuses blasted out everything they had. Some even burned their own blood and used exploding techniques to stop Su Chuan's sword. Boom! 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 A series of explosions ripped through the space. All the geniuses who'd been attacking Su Chuan were thrown back, spitting blood. Even Ling Tian, the 200 powerful fighters were now unable to fight. Cui Jiang and the others who hadn't joined the attack stared, jaws dropped, unable to think. What had they just seen? Su Chuan wiped out 200 geniuses with one sword, leaving them unable to fight, and that wasn't all. Many weaker fighters had died from the sword's power. The weakest fighters were at least at the 3rd level of nirvana. Even Ling Tian, who was a peerless genius in the 8th stage of nirvana, couldn't stop Su Chuan's sword. Chapter 085. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dude, Su Chuan is seriously strong. That the silence in the trial space finally shattered after what felt like forever. Cui Jiang blurted it out, disbelief plastered across his face. He still looked freaked out. Before they entered the golden ancient palace, Cui Jiang figured Su Chuan was just tagging along for the ride, maybe see some sights. No one expected him to unleash that kind of power. Off in the distance, the young monk stopped his chanting. He didn't go after Su Chuan, but he definitely saw the power behind that sword. Amitba, he thought, I doubt anyone below the 5th level of the reincarnation realm could take that hit. He secretly breathed a sigh of relief, keeping his greed in check. Even as a Buddhist disciple, he knew he'd be in deep trouble if he tried anything. Looks like you're not worth me handing over my points for, Su Chuan said, calm as could be, still holding the killing sword. Hearing that, Ling Tian, still sprawled on the ground, coughed up blood. Su Chuan's words hit him like a ton of bricks, crushing his ego. Usually, he's untouchable, the best of the best. He's also the young master and holy son of the Tianyan sect, for crying out loud, but now, he couldn't even handle one of Su Chuan's sword strikes. The gap between them was too huge to swallow. Now, it's my turn. I'm giving you 2 choices. 1, hand over your points willingly, and I'll let you live. 2, get beaten to a pulp, and then I'll take your points anyway. Su Chuan's voice was cold. If you want to steal other people's points, you better be ready to get robbed yourself. He was just giving them a taste of their own medicine. As soon as he finished talking, a bunch of geniuses who'd already been beaten by Su Chuan started making decisions real fast. They all knew how important points were, but right now, staying alive was way more important. I'll hand over the points. Me too. As soon as the first guy spoke up, the rest started tripping over themselves to agree, afraid Su Chuan would change his mind. I'm too young to die, I've got my whole life ahead of me. Thank you, Su Zhenchuan, for being merciful. Here are my points. Su Zhenchuan, I'll get on my knees and beg for forgiveness, point one of the geniuses said, practically shoving his points at Su Chuan and apologizing like crazy, after ticking off someone that ruthless, who knows what would happen when they got back. They were doing everything they could to butter Su Chuan up, just to save their own skins. Soon enough, 200 geniuses had handed over their points. Nobody was willing to bet that Su Chuan wouldn't kill. Wang Ting's headless corpse was still lying there as a reminder, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Ling Tian was the only one left who hadn't coughed up his points yet. Su Chuan fixed his gaze on him, calm and steady. Ling Tian was on the ground, barely breathing. The Taoist energy that usually surrounded him was gone, leaving him looking pathetic. I can let everyone else go, but you. Su Chuan paused, letting the words hang in the air. Ling Tian had a bad feeling about this. Sure enough, Su Chuan's next word sent his heart plummeting. You've gotta die. Su Chuan said it so casually. Earlier, Su Chuan had used the system to check Ling Tian out and found that this guy was the holy son and young master of the Tianyin sect, the same sect that Su Miaoyin had a score to settle with for wiping out her family. Su Miaoyin's whole family was gone because of him. Now that she had a chance for revenge, there was no way Su Chuan was going to let him off the hook, and if killing him meant the Tianyin sect would come after them. Su Chuan wasn't worried. Why? Feeling the deadly aura rolling off Su Chuan, Ling Tian was terrified. Despite his injuries, he never thought Su Chuan would actually dare to kill him. Why? Ask the devil when you get there. Su Chuan raised his fist and went after Ling Tian. He didn't even want to waste the killing sword on this guy. His fist was charged with pure malice, packed with destructive power. You can't kill me. I'm the young master of the Tianyin sect, the holy son. If you kill me, my father will hunt you down. You can run to the ends of the earth, but you'll still end up dead. Ling Tian was starting to panic, seeing how determined Su Chuan was. Then, he puffed out his chest and tried to threaten him. Su Miaoyin, who was watching, gritted her teeth when Ling Tian announced who he was. She'd never forget the title Holy Son of Tianyin sect. This was the guy who ruined her family and forced her to run for her life. If Su Chuan hadn't saved her, she'd probably be dead. At the same time, she realized why Su Chuan wanted to kill Ling Tian so badly. It was all for her. She was deeply touched. Please don't kill me. You won't get away with this. Seeing that Su Chuan didn't care about his threats and his fists were getting closer, Ling Tian cracked. He begged for mercy, completely abandoning his holy son pride. Shut up. Su Chuan didn't flinch. He threw the punch. Ling Tian screamed as Su Chuan shattered his qi, turning him into a cripple in a split second. How dare you? How dare you do this? Even with his qi destroyed, he still couldn't believe Su Chuan had actually gone through with it. Miaoyin, the rest is up to you. Su Chuan casually wiped the blood off his hands and turned to Su Miaoyin. When it comes to revenge, you have to do it yourself, otherwise, it could mess you up later on. Su Chuan didn't want Su Miaoyin to be affected like that. She's the Empress of Destiny. Okay, thank you, senior brother Su. The guy who orchestrated her family's destruction was right in front of her, and she could finally get her revenge. Su Miaoyin would be lying if she said she wasn't excited. She walked up to Ling Tian and raised a ball of fire. This was the true flame of nirvana. Anyone without phoenix blood would be slowly consumed if they got even a tiny bit on them. It was a brutal, agonizing process, and Su Miaoyin wanted Ling Tian to feel every bit of it, for the sake of her family's souls. Go to hell. A tear rolled down Su Miaoyin's cheek. She didn't know if it was from excitement or from the joy of getting revenge. The true flame of nirvana fell on Ling Tian, burning his flesh and blood inch by inch. With his qi gone, he couldn't do a thing to stop it. Kill me. Just kill me. The pain was so intense that Ling Tian just wanted to die, but Su Miaoyin wasn't going to let him off that easy. Every time he was about to pass out, she'd shove a healing elixir down his throat. She kept him conscious while the flames devoured him, then, she burned his head and soul. Finally, Ling Tian was completely consumed by the true flame of nirvana, which then returned to Su Miaoyin's body. Instantly, Su Miaoyin's cultivation level shot up. It skyrocketed to the 9th level of the magical power realm, just one step away from breaking through to the nirvana realm. Father, Mother, your daughter has avenged you. Don't worry, next is the Lin family and the Tianyan sect. I won't let any of them get away with this. I want them all buried with you. After getting her revenge, Su Miaoyin finally felt a sense of release. Su Chuan was happy for her. Chapter 086. You are listening at novelfull.audio. True inheritance. After Ling Tian bit the dust, the other hotshots who'd been dogpiling Su Chuan breathed a collective sigh of relief, like they'd dodged a bullet. 2 heavy-hitting saint sons and young masters had just met their maker at Su Chuan's hands, and nobody doubted he had the guts to ice anyone else. If they hadn't coughed up their points earlier, they'd probably be pushing up daisies right alongside Wang Tang and Ling Tian. Time to bail. Those geniuses who'd had their points jacked by Su Chuan were the first to piece out of the trial space. They were tapped out anyway, so there was no point in sticking around. Better to head out early and try to snag some opportunities outside while the ancient palace world was still on lockdown. Pretty soon, most of the fighters in the trial space had vanished. That left just the warriors who hadn't thrown down with Su Chuan in the first place, but they weren't planning a long stay either. No way they were cracking the top 3 at this point, so, one by one, they pulled up the exchange list, traded their points for some inheritance or rewards, and bounced. Su, thanks a million. Su Miaoyin was a blubbering mess as she thanked Su Chuan. Without his help, she'd probably still be chasing her tail trying to take down that dirtbag. Congrats, you earned it. Su Chuan grinned and nodded, happy to see she'd gotten her revenge. Then, he snagged Ling Tian's storage ring and scooped up all the goodies inside for himself. Next, he fired up Suzaku's flame control technique, unleashing a blast of true sunfire that engulfed both corpses. Poof! Ashes to ashes in a heartbeat. So, Miaoyin, what's the plan now? Su Chuan asked. I'm gonna cash in my rewards, then hit the road with my senior sisters. Su Miaoyin had finally managed to pull herself together and answered Su Chuan. Sounds good. Su Chuan nodded. He was about to go chase after the palace master's inheritance, so he couldn't exactly bring Su Miaoyin along for the ride. Besides, he wasn't sweating her safety with the Yaoqi Holy Land crew. He had a soft spot for the disciples of Yaoqi Holy Land anyway, not just because Huang Lin had hooked him up with Su Miaoyin in the first place, but also because none of the people who tried to jump him earlier were from Yaoqi Holy Land. Su, promise you'll swing by Yaoqi Holy Land to see me. As she was about to head out, Su Miaoyin couldn't help but feel a little bummed. She shouted out to Su Chuan in the last second before she left. I'll be there, don't sweat it. Su Chuan promised. Su Miaoyin left the trial space with a smile on her face. Damn, Su's got all the luck. Cui Jiang couldn't resist the urge to tease him. Su Chuan just flashed him a friendly grin in response. Then, they all gave him a nod and faded out of the trial space. Yang Sheng was the only one who looked bummed as he left. He'd been on the run the whole time and hadn't gotten squat. He'd strolled into the trial space ready to strut his stuff, but Su Chuan had shown up and totally wrecked his game. Now he was low on points. What a bust. He was mega pissed, but he had no choice but to grit his teeth and scram. After they were gone, the only ones left in the massive trial space were Su Chuan, Cui Jiang, and the little monk with the Zen staff. Out of the 3 of them, Su Chuan was sitting pretty with a cool 100,000 points. The monk, Huiyuan, was in second place, but he was miles behind Su Chuan with just over 30,000. Cui Jiang was in third, thanks to a lucky break after Su Chuan offed Wang Tang and Ling Tian, scraping by with a measly 10,000 points. Ba, Su is one tough cookie. The young monk Huiyuan greeted Su Chuan from afar. He'd seen Su Chuan in action. He was confident in his own skills as a Nirvana realm powerhouse, but he wasn't sure he could take Su Chuan down. You're no slouch yourself. Su Chuan's eyes narrowed. He could tell that the little monk might look harmless, but he was packing some serious heat. he was a cut above the other two and could be a real contender. Good thing they weren't fighting over points anymore, and there were only 3 of them left in the trial space. They exchanged nods and waited for the voice to pipe up again. Right on cue, the voice boomed out, "Congrats. You've earned a shot at the Palace Master's inheritance. But it's just a shot. Who ends up with the goods is anyone's guess. Now, go get M." As soon as the words were out of the speaker's mouth, Chuan and the other 2 blinked and found themselves in a new location. In front of them, a white jade staircase stretched toward a majestic hall, but the hall was upside down, hanging in the sky. Only a truly powerful being could have built such a bizarre palace. Climbing the stairs and stepping into the palace, they were suddenly standing right side up again, which was mind-blowing. Inside the main hall, countless orbs of light floated around. The walls were covered in markings, fingerprints, knife slashes, sword gashes. Each mark radiated a terrifying Taoist aura that made Chuan and the others feel a little queasy. These orbs and markings must have been left by some seriously powerful cats. Figuring them out is the key to unlocking a killer inheritance. Chuan was awestruck. Just then, the voice chimed in, "See those orbs and markings? The Palace Master's inheritance is hidden among them. Whether you can snag it is up to you." Hearing that, they all got a serious case of the jitters. Chui, this young monk's making the first move. After all, he was still a kid. The second the voice went silent, the young monk Huiyuan couldn't contain himself and sprinted headfirst into the sea of inheritance. He was so fast it made their jaws drop. When they finally snapped out of it, they locked eyes, nodded, and started deciphering the inheritances from opposite directions. Time flew by. Chuan sifted through the sea of inheritance, picking up a bunch of powerful skills, but still couldn't find a trace of the Palace Master's inheritance. Huiyuan and Cui Jiang were in the same boat. Am I just not meant to find this Palace Master's inheritance? After searching high and low without any luck, Chuan started second-guessing himself. Then, something weird happened. A strange vibe washed over Chuan's senses as he ran Xianyang Ju. It hit him. Xianyang Ju must be connected to the Palace Master's inheritance somehow. Without missing a beat, Chuan dropped to a cross-legged position, threw everything he had into running Xianyang Ju, and focused on feeling that special vibe. A whole day went by, but Chuan couldn't pick up on that vibe again. For a second, he wasn't so sure anymore. Was it all just in my head? Chuan frowned, questioning his judgment, but he still had a gut feeling that he had sensed something special. So, he cleared his head of all distractions and dove back into his practice. Another day passed, and suddenly, Chuan, who was sitting cross-legged with his eyes shut, snapped them open with a glint of excitement in his gaze. Got it. He had locked onto that special vibe once more. Chapter 087. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Where do you think you're going? Catching a faint trace, Chuan roared, activating the Xianyang Ju, and unleashing a surge of energy. Boom. A powerful pressure slammed against the escaping aura. Trying to sneak away, seeing it still trying to escape, Chuan smirked, his eyes flashing with a sharp glint. The Xianyang Ju accelerated within him. Finally, Chuan's Yuanli connected with the special aura. A muffled bang echoed, and the palace underwent a sudden transformation. Huiyuan and Cui Jiang, still searching for the Palace Master's inheritance, were engulfed by a beam of light and vanished instantly. They reappeared right at the entrance to the trial grounds. Their faces dropped. Umitba, alas, it seems I'm not meant for this inheritance. Young monk Huiyuan sighed, shaking his head as he turned away. Chuan's got all the luck. Cui Jiang looked on with a touch of envy, but that was it. He was naturally easygoing and took things in stride. If he didn't get the Palace Master's inheritance, it just wasn't meant to be, and nobody was to blame. Besides, he'd gotten a free pass to the main hall thanks to Chuan. Even if he missed out on the main prize, he'd picked up plenty of other awesome inheritances along the way. He'd still come out ahead. So, he felt no real jealousy. Taking a deep breath and steadying himself, he headed off. He'd use the remaining time to hunt for more opportunities. Meanwhile, back in the hall, after Cui Jiang and Huiyuan were teleported out, everything changed. All the glowing orbs and markings disappeared, leaving nothing visible but Chuan and a new fixture. Above the main hall now stood a statue. The statue had sharp, sword-like eyebrows and bright, starry eyes, strikingly handsome. For some reason, Chuan felt an irresistible pull toward it. He quickly stood up and moved toward the statue, but before he could get close, an immense martial pressure slammed down on him. Whoa, intense! Chuan's eyes narrowed, his expression turning serious. The pressure was greater than anything he'd ever felt, like Mount Everest bearing down on him. In his regular nirvana state, he would have been crushed instantly, but thanks to his son's sacred body, amplified by several transformations, he could barely withstand the force. Get off me! Chuan roared, red sun fire erupting around him. Fully activating the sun's sacred body, he fought against the pressure with everything he had, slowly straightening his back. Faced with this, Chuan was thrilled. The stronger the pressure, the more powerful the palace master's inheritance must be. This was just a test designed by the palace master himself. He couldn't cave in now. I'm claiming this inheritance today, Chuan yelled, pushing himself to the limit. Boom! A deafening roar echoed, and a massive wave of energy burst from Chuan. The wave shot upward, shattering the oppressive force. Instantly, Chuan felt the pressure release, and then he collapsed to the ground. That brief struggle had drained him more than wiping out tens of thousands of demons with a single sword strike. Huff! Chuan panted, gasping for breath. Well, kid, you're a little on the weak side, a voice echoed from the statue, reaching Chuan's ears. Who's there? Show yourself. Chuan didn't dare relax, quickly scrambling to his feet and scanning the surroundings. Right in front of you, an illusory figure emerged from the statue, an old man with white hair, smiling at Chuan as if he was pleased with him. Looking closer, Chuan saw that the old man looked about 90% like the statue, just much older. Are you, the palace master? Chuan asked cautiously. He couldn't afford to offend the guy if this was the real deal. Yep, that's me. What's the matter? You scared? The palace master's spirit was chatty, like a mischievous old man, which relieved Chuan. May I ask for your name, senior? Chuan inquired. Name's Nan Sangyu. You can call me Nan. When Nan Sangyu spoke his name, his voice became commanding. I'm just a projection now, and I'll fade away soon. Enough talk. You passed my test. You'll inherit everything from me, Nan Sangyu stated solemnly. Then, he transformed into a beam of light and shot into Chuan's mind. Chuan felt a massive will descend upon his consciousness. He immediately tensed up, worried that Nan Sangyu was trying to take over, but just as he was about to fight back, Nan Sangyu's voice echoed in his mind. Hey, quit stalling. Get ready. Then, a scene unfolded in his mind. It was a chaotic battlefield, filled with smoke and the scattered remains of bodies. He saw bizarre demons, gigantic rock birds spreading their wings, and powerful human warriors. All were dead. The scene shifted to the center of the battlefield where Nan Sangyu stood. He was surrounded by dozens of unknown creatures. Nan Sangyu, you can't escape. Hand over the key and we'll make your death quick. A cold voice exploded like thunder in Chuan's mind. Humph, what can you aliens do besides swarm? Today, I'll die before I let you win. Ignoring the dozens of aliens surrounding him, Nan Sangyu's body began to swell rapidly. He's going to self-destruct. Fall back. The cold voice panicked. They hadn't expected Nan Sangyu to be so determined, willing to sacrifice himself. Boom. Before the aliens could retreat, Nan Sangyu's body exploded in a brilliant burst of light. Nan Sangyu died, and dozens of aliens were caught in the blast. As the aftermath faded, a golden light shot away, flying toward the Shantian continent. It landed on a water-avoiding black turtle in the Heavenly King realm and transformed into an ancient palace of solid gold. This was the origin of the Golden Ancient Palace. The vision ended, and a torrent of information flooded into Chuan's mind. He felt a splitting headache. All of Nan Sangyu's knowledge was pouring into his brain. It took a long time for him to recover. Most of the inheritance had been sealed within his mind, requiring him to grow stronger to unlock it. Chuan pondered for a moment, then a realization dawned on him. Nan Sangyu had done this to protect him. He also received knowledge of Nan Sangyu's realm, the fourth-level emperor. Another new level, which excited Chuan. Now he knew why he could sense the special aura, both the Xianyang Ju and Haori Divine Fist originated from the Palace Master's inheritance. Mastering either allowed you to sense his energy. Through the inheritance, he also gained control of the Golden Ancient Palace. From now on, the entire Golden Ancient Palace was his. This Golden Ancient Palace was a 4th-level imperial weapon, capable of both offense and defense, possessing incredible power. With it, Su Chuan would never have to fear danger again. Chapter 088. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After claiming the Golden Ancient Palace, he could access its hidden knowledge whenever he wanted. It was like carrying a mobile power source, but instead of electricity, it transmitted ancient wisdom, some of it dating back to the Heavenly King realm. After looking around, Su Chuan acquired the complete Haori Divine Fist technique. Eons ago, Emperor Haori had explored this very palace, learning a fragment of the Divine Fist, which he later inscribed in the hull. Now, Su Chuan had the whole thing. He also unearthed the Taichu Xianyang Sutra, a god-level technique from the Palace Master's personal collection. The Xianyang Ju he already knew was just a watered-down version. He immediately started practicing. Because the two techniques shared the same core principles, Su Chuan transitioned smoothly. After just one cycle of the Taichu Xianyang Sutra, he grasped its true power. The technique was a perfect match for his sun body. Like a custom-made glove, his energy levels spiked instantly. During practice, the sutra even drew in traces of the sun's origin, constantly refining and improving his sun body. Over time, his physique would evolve, possibly even mutating. According to Nan Lao's records, the Holy Sun body wasn't the ultimate form. Stronger physiques existed throughout the cosmos. Only on Shantian continent was the Holy Sun body considered such a big deal. I'm going to transform into something even stronger. Su Chuan vowed to himself. With the system's support and the legacy of a 4th-level emperor, there was no reason he couldn't evolve. Having witnessed the chaos of space battles, his ambitions now extended beyond Shantian continent. The Emperor's senior realm was just a starting point. His new goal was to become the strongest warrior in the entire cosmos. He had no doubt that this goal was achievable. Fueled by this vision, he felt incredibly motivated. His immediate goal, however, was to break through to the Emperor's senior realm, uncover the mystery behind the disappearances of other warriors, and finally venture into the chaos. He exhaled and stood up. The inheritance was complete, and it was time to leave. He wondered how much time had passed since he entered the Golden Ancient Palace. With a thought, Su Chuan teleported near the entrance. He now controlled the entire palace world. He could go wherever he wanted, and all the treasures were his. The place was like a giant, personalized storage unit, except living things could exist within it, and time could pass. However, the world was now empty. Apparently, a month had passed since the palace opened, and all the surviving warriors had left. Just as he was about to depart, a corpse caught his attention, one that had been ravaged by monsters. The remaining clothing reminded him of someone. Isn't that the leader of the Silver Moon Holy Land? That he appeared beside the body, picking up a silver token bearing the name Yuanli. He confirmed the man's identity. I remember he found a mysterious bead before he died. That he recalled that Yuan Li's big score was a mysterious bead. Even the system had flagged it as significant, piquing Su Chuan's curiosity. With a wave, a dark blue bead emerged from the wreckage and landed in his hand. Yuan Li had hidden it well. Judging from the scene, he was looted after death, and even his storage ring was gone. Some discarded items lay scattered nearby, but the bead remained hidden. Focusing his awareness on the bead, Su Chuan understood its significance. It was a soul bead, something he had learned about from the alien races in Nan Lao's records. Only aliens above the Heavenly King realm could produce these. For ordinary warriors, they were mostly useless, but for those who had awakened their martial arts true soul, it was a supercharged booster. It could strengthen the true soul and accelerate its evolution. With enough soul beads, one could potentially transform their true soul into a young god. Refining a young god essentially granted immortality. As long as the young god survived, the warrior could be reborn from any injury. Awakening the true soul was already a huge accomplishment, but the young god was something only the top-tier heavenly kings could dream about. This particular soul bead came from an alien who had just barely scraped into the emperor realm. Nice. Su Chuan's eyes lit up. He was just looking for ways to strengthen his true soul. After securing the bead, he incinerated the remains with the sun's true fire. Then he flashed out of the palace, reappearing in the endless sea. over a month had passed, and he was flooded with emotion. During his time in the ancient palace, he had not only leapt from the first level of the magical power realm to the first level of the nirvana realm, but also received the inheritance of the palace master. It was a major score. Time to head back to the Holy Land. That the island outside the golden ancient palace was deserted, meaning he had spent a considerable amount of time in the inheritance. He hadn't felt it while he was immersed in it. Looking at the golden palace, Chuan waved his hand, causing it to shrink until it was the size of his palm, then absorbed it into his body. "Oh, you're finally here." As Chuan took control of the palace, an irritated voice rang in his ears. He whirled around, startled. The voice was coming from the water-avoiding black turtle. "Are you talking?" Chuan asked. "Who else would it be?" The voice repeated. Chuan was sure it was the turtle. He kept his distance. This heavenly king realm beast had been suppressed by the golden ancient palace for 100,000 years. It must be pissed. "You're the one who got the inheritance and took over the golden ancient palace," Xianlai, the water-avoiding black turtle, continued. "That's right." Chuan admitted. It was obvious he had taken over the palace. Xianlai nodded its massive head. 100,000 years ago, I made a deal with the old man in this palace. I agreed to carry the golden ancient palace for 100,000 years until someone came to claim it. In exchange, I only had to guard that person for a century, and then I would receive a technique to help me reach the Emperor realm. I've been waiting for this day for a century. 100,000 years. You're finally here. Xianlai sounded ecstatic. All he wanted was to break through. He had waited a lifetime for this. 100,000 years was an eternity. Only his long-lived species could have endured it. Chuan was shocked. He hadn't known about Xianlai's agreement with Nan Lao, but he quickly put the pieces together. This was Nan Lao's way of guaranteeing a future for his successors. With Nan Lao's knowledge, even a moron could reach the Emperor realm in 100 years. When the time came, any technique from the ancient palace would be enough to help Xianlai break through. A smile spread across his face. Who wouldn't be happy to get a heavenly king realm enforcer for free? In that case, come with me. I promise I'll give you those skills within 100 years. I might even give it to you before you reach the Emperor realm, Chuan said. Really? Xianlai was overjoyed. The sea churned as Xianlai shrunk to the size of a palm and flew into Chuan's hand. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Chuan didn't hesitate, placing Xianlai on his shoulder and preparing to return to the Holy Land. Chapter 089. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Back in the Holy Land, the Tianyan sect attacks. Tai Holy Land was buzzing with activity. It had been several days since the golden ancient palace shut down. Chuan returned alone, along with a heavenly king realm demon beast. "Hey, look who's back." It's Chuan. The moment Chuan stepped inside the Holy Land's gate, a group of outer disciples spotted him. Excited chatter erupted, and a crowd of disciples gathered around. Why is Chuan getting back later than the other top disciples? Rumor has it he got the ultimate inheritance. No way. Could we have another potential holy son on our hands? The other top disciples had been back for days, and they'd brought back a ton of info. Seeing Chuan finally arrive sparked a fresh round of speculation. The word of Chuan's return spread like wildfire, and his master, Lin, showed up soon after hearing about it. Good to see you back. What did you get out of this trip? Lin smiled, looking Chuan over. A whole lot. Chuan grinned. Lin nodded, understanding dawning on his face. Between Cui Zhang's reports and Chuan's own statement, he knew his disciple had hit the jackpot. He decided to drop it for now. Just glad you're back. Lin had been worried sick. Chuan had only just entered the golden ancient palace and stepped into the supernatural power realm. Despite his unique physique and incredible fighting skills, Lin couldn't help but fret. He'd finally found a ridiculously talented swordsman, someone who could become the next holy son. Losing him in the golden ancient palace would have been devastating. Seeing Chuan safe and sound was a huge relief. He glanced at Chuan again, and froze. You broke through to the Nirvana realm? And is that, the aura of a true martial soul. Feeling the powerful aura radiating from Su Chuan, a presence as striking as the sun rising over the abyss, and sensing the faint, deadly presence of a killing sword soul, Situ Lin started trembling with excitement. He'd never imagined Su Chuan could go from the first level of the supernatural power realm to the first level of the nirvana realm on this one trip. And he wasn't just scraping by. His aura was incredibly strong, so he clearly hadn't taken any shortcuts, plus, he could sense the unmistakable presence of a true martial soul. Yeah, Master. I broke through to the nirvana realm and awakened my true martial soul, Su Chuan confirmed with a smile. Yes. 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 You're everything I hoped for, Su Chuan. Hearing Su Chuan's confirmation, Situ Lin couldn't contain his joy and shouted yes. 3 times in a row, the nearby disciples were nearly deafened by his booming laughter, that alone showed how thrilled Situ Lin was. Follow me, kid. We're going to see the Holy Lord. He grabbed Su Chuan and shot off toward Tianfeng Hall. He couldn't wait to brag to the other peak masters and the Holy Lord, reaching nirvana in just a month, and awakening his true martial soul while still in the nirvana state. That's off the charts genius territory. Even Situ Lin hadn't awakened his true martial soul until he reached the Tongtian realm. He considered himself the top peak master in the Holy Land, but Su Chuan was 2 realms ahead of him, and his future was limitless. After a short break, Situ Lin led Su Chuan to Tianfeng Hall. On the way, Su Chuan sent Xianlai back into the ancient palace. He didn't want the beast getting spotted by the Holy Land.I, and besides, Xianlai had been hauling around the golden ancient palace for ages and was ready for a nap. Su Chuan agreed, but made him promise to step in if he ever found himself in serious trouble. Holy Lord, Su Chuan is back. The moment he stepped into the hall, Situ Lin yelled toward the Holy Land.I, who was on the platform. That was just his style, sometimes eccentric, sometimes blunt. Hearing this, Holy Land.I slowly opened his eyes, glanced at Situ Lin, nodded, and said to Su Chuan, "Looks like you came out on top." He chuckled, leaving Su Chuan to wonder what he was thinking. "Thanks to the Holy Lord for your guidance." Su Chuan bowed respectfully. "I've heard about everything you did in there. You earned it with your own strength." Holy Land.I smiled. "Now that you've broken through to the Nirvana realm, we can officially announce that you're a potential Holy Son." When he first designated Su Chuan as a potential Holy Son, he promised to make it official once Su Chuan reached the Nirvana realm. Now, Su Chuan had surpassed that. He was stronger than anyone. The Golden Ancient Palace incident had already reached his ears. Su Chuan had taken down over 200 top talents single-handedly, killed the young master of the ancient clan and the holy son of the Tianyin sect, and then awakened his true martial soul. Could there be a better candidate to become a potential Holy Son? "Thank you, Holy Lord." Su Chuan was overjoyed and quickly thanked the Holy Lord. The Holy Land.I looked at Su Chuan, extremely satisfied, but just as they'd made their decision about the potential Holy Son, outside the Tai Holy Land's mountain gate, a group of uninvited guests arrived. Each one radiated power, their auras crashing over the Holy Land. "Xian Sa, come out." The leader was a middle-aged man with immense charisma. He seemed to bend the very laws of reality around him. He was furious, and his shout echoed through every corner of Tai Holy Land, reaching every ear. Everyone in Tianfeng Hall heard the booming voice. "Who dares disrespect the Holy Lord like that?" Hui Yan, the hot-headed leader of Liang Peak, grabbed his sledgehammer and stormed out to confront the offender. "Hold on, you're no match for this guy." Holy Land.I, Xian Sa, stopped Hui Yan and shook his head. He already knew who it was. None of the peak masters present could stand against this man. He had every right to call Xian Sa by his name. With a flash, Holy Land.I appeared outside the mountain gate. "Well, if it isn't fellow Taoist Ling. What brings you here?" Holy Land.I smiled at the newcomer. "Cut the crap, Xian Sa. Hand over my son's murderer." The middle-aged man's aura was menacing, the aura of a heavenly king filling the air and sweeping over the Holy Land. This was Ling Feng, the sect leader of Tianyin sect, a top sect in the eastern region, and an 8th-level heavenly king. His only son, Ling Tian, who was also the holy son of the Tianyin sect, had been killed by one of Tai Holy Land's top disciples in the Golden Ancient Palace. He was out for revenge. He wanted to kill his son's murderer and avenge him. This was what any father would do, and it was also about saving face for the Tianyin sect. How could the Tianyin sect ever hold its head up in the eastern region if he couldn't avenge his own son? Fellow Taoist Ling, calm down. I sympathize deeply with your son's passing, but what does that have to do with Tai Holy Land? Facing the enraged Ling Feng, Holy Lord Tai remained calm and composed, as if the whole thing was nothing. Don't play dumb. My disciples saw it with their own eyes. Su Chuan, one of your top disciples, killed my son. Ling Feng roared. Chapter 090. You are listening at novelfull.audio. War. Seriously? You think you rate? Just then, Situ Lin, Su Chuan, and a bunch of peak masters strolled over. Seeing the scene, Situ Lin was stunned. Kid, are you telling me you actually iced old Ghost Ling's kid? Su Chuan nodded. Okay, Su Miaoying dealt the final blow, but Su Chuan definitely set him up for it, so yeah, Ling Tian was good as dead because of him. Situ Lin took a deep breath. He hadn't seen that coming. Su Chuan was leveling up quick. He'd heard the rumors about Su Chuan cleaning house back at the Golden Ancient Palace, sure. But Ling Tian wasn't just some punk off the street, he was the Tianyin sect leader's son, the sacred son of their whole deal. He was supposed to be a big shot, but Su Chuan still took him down. He was liking his main man more every day. Su Chuan kept topping himself every day. He couldn't wait to see what Su Chuan would do next. As for the Tianyin sect coming to complain, Situ Lin wasn't sweating it. Holy Lord Tai was practically a demigod at this point. Ling Feng didn't stand a chance, even if they were both top dogs in the eastern region. The Tai Holy Land had the juice. As the #1 holy spot in the east, the Tai Holy Land had heavy hitters the Tianyin sect could only dream of. Xian Sa, last chance, hand over the one who did it. Or get ready for war. Ling Feng was fuming. The Tai Holy Master wasn't taking him seriously. He was coming off the rails, practically radiating enough death glare to sink a ship. Like I said, your boy's death has nothing to do with my main disciple. Holy Lord Tai shot back, and that's when it hit Ling Feng. He pinned Su Chuan, full of rage, and charged right for him while Holy Master Tai wasn't looking. He was gonna frag him. He memorized Su Chuan's face before even coming to Tai Holy Land, so when Su Chuan popped up, he knew exactly who to blame. Hold it right there. You lay a hand on my kid and you'll get it. Just as Ling Feng was about to reach Su Chuan, Situ Lin growled. He shot up into the air, whipped out his saber, and threw up a shield in front of Su Chuan. He was ready to throw hands. Every blade was sharpened. He knew what needed to be done. Okay, he was only Tongtian realm level, but when he pulled out all the stops, he could outfight anyone at the Heavenly King realm. Ling Feng wanted to take out Su Chuan, so he was stepping up. Even if the dude was a Heavenly King realm level 8 boss, the attacks hit each other like thunder. Boom. The sky shook, and the air around them started to crack apart like glass. The pure malice in the air could choke you. The whole Tai Holy Land was feeling it. Anyone under the reincarnation level was shaking in their boots. This was a fight between titans. Nothing moved. They knew if they moved, death would come. Ling, you've gone too far. Holy Master Tai said, deadly serious. Xian Sa, I'm telling you, he's gonna die. You don't think I'm scared of you? Ling Feng was seeing red. All he could think about was taking Su Chuan down. Ling Tian was his boy, a natural. The Tianyin sect hadn't seen potential like that in 10,000 years. He was a lock for Emperor Senior Realm, and now he was done, and the one who did it was right there and he couldn't touch him. At that, he poured out everything he had, power blasting off him like a supernova. The air groaned and buckled around him. I won't let you anywhere near my students here. Holy Lord Tai wasn't backing down either. He threw out some power of his own, a blast of sunlight, crushing Ling Feng and his crew, everyone under it, but Ling Feng himself was ready to kneel. Fine. Fine. You want war, you got it. Ling Feng cackled and waved his hand. Bring on the pain. On the Tai Holy Land side, the peak masters all grabbed their weapons. They'd bite back, the guys watching were scared out of their minds. The Tai Holy Land and the Tianyan sect were major players. A war between them would eat up the whole eastern region. Everyone would have to pick a side. Luckily, nothing that bad happened. War, huh? Holy Lord-I laughed. War is for equals. What do you, the Tianyan sect, bring to the table? Holy Lord-I stopped holding back. His divine power crashed over Ling Feng. Okay, fine. Ling Feng spat out, showing his teeth. So Xian Sa's really gonna go there with the Tianyan sect. Good. You asked for it. And with that, his own power surged, ready to rip. Enough talk, let's go. Boom. The air exploded, and Holy Lord-I was gone. He flashed into being right in front of Ling Feng. A fist was coming for his face. Ling Feng's jaw dropped. He didn't think Holy Lord-I would actually throw the first punch. He didn't even play fair. He poured it on, barely dodging it, but that wasn't gonna save him. Think you can hide? Let's see how long that lasts. Holy Master Tai punched again, smashing the air itself, and Ling Feng flew back out, blood coming from his mouth. Holy Master Tai scoffed. Ling Feng, you haven't learned a thing in all these years. You can't even take 2 punches. Pathetic. Ling Feng wiped his mouth, finally realizing what he was up against. The demigod was too much for him. Thinking back to Holy Lord Tai's past, he was starting to feel a chill. He couldn't avenge his son, and now he was fighting for his life. He underestimated how important Su Chuan was, how much Holy Lord Tai valued him. He was starting to think he'd had enough, and that's when his power dropped. Xian Sa, you got lucky. I'll get you back for this. Let's go. Ling Feng turned to book it out of Tai Holy Land with the rest of his group. Get away from the unstoppable Xian Sa.